Are you familiar with the Tinfoil Hat podcast and its host, Sam Tripoli? Well, even if you're not, you should stick around because this is a pretty interesting one. You see, just a few weeks ago, I made a video about Sam and Joe and Ian Carroll and how these guys are gatekeepers. And thanks to my friend Moon Henry, which you should all go follow, I got some more proof. You should look into that. But this video is not about Ian. Like I said, it's about Sam. And well, he mentioned me on his podcast the other day. And boy, does it take an interesting turn.
Like that, but the modern Freemasonry with the lodges, the first Masonic lodge and all that was established essentially by Francis Bacon. And so it says that he did and that he had a feigned death. And so the question about his feigned death is if he just was an old man after that, or if he incarnated as somebody else, and that would probably be Saint Germain.
You know who's gonna love this episode? The fittest flat earther who got mad at us because we didn't talk about how Jimi Hendrix is Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix is Morgan Freeman, but that's not why I got mad at them. I'm mad at them because they would never do a full episode exposing how often they fake deaths and come back as someone else, or put on masks and play someone else. But this isn't about that. No, this is about Francis Bacon, who they were talking about, who really was the one that started Freemasonry. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't know a ton about Francis Bacon, so I looked him up. And well, the second I saw him, I thought he looked familiar. Does he look familiar to you? Take a second. How about if I pull Sam Tripoli back up on the screen? No? Not yet? How about now? Or do you need the side by side? How about now? Even their noses are literally exact. So you mean to tell me that the first time I have ever been mentioned in the history of the show, the Tinfoil Hat podcast, they just happened to mention me during a time while they're talking about Francis Bacon, who just happens to look exactly like the host? Exactly. And I'm the guy known for recognizing that people that look like each other might just actually be the same people. No, not clones. I'm the guy known for having such good facial recognition that I recognize the people that fake their deaths and become other people. Like these guys, Andy Kaufman, Nicolas Cage, Bob Marley, Nelson Mandela, Chris Cornell, Jonathan Rumi, aka Jesus and the Chosen, Prince and David Blaine. I mean, I got a phone full of them. Or in the other scenario, they don't fake their death, they just put on some prosthetics or masks. Oh, and Francis Bacon happens to be known in some circles as the inventor of the mask, because a lot of people think he was Shakespeare, and Shakespearean plays always had masks of some sort. And if that's too much for you, you don't believe this one, well, then go check out Brad is Benicio. I've done a bunch of videos. There's no doubt on that. They're the same person. It's just some prosthetics and a wig. Ooh. Now getting back to the point, you think they just unintentionally, coincidentally mentioned my name in the episode talking about Francis Bacon, who looks just like Sam? And hey, that's a weird way to wear a angel's hat. It's almost like it's a falling angel. Like it's inverted and upside down and is falling. You see, I used to think that maybe the fallen angels just didn't die, and they were here, undying beings among us. I'm developing a new theory that maybe they die and just reincarnate with the same ugly face. Why don't we listen to just a little more of this episode that they mentioned me in?
Ability. And that's where I'm coming back to reincarnation and incarnation. A reincarnation, you die. And so people believe in reincarnation, people don't. But if people that do, you die, you come back into a baby's body, and you've reincarnated. You really don't have much knowledge of your past life unless you unlock that through meditation, or some people are just kind of born with that gift. There's certainly accounts of people having flashbacks and whatnot from previous lives, but normally you just wouldn't be able to remember your previous life. So an incarnation would be not the death happening. So Francis Bacon does this ancient yogic method of leaving his body and going into the body of, basically, don't ask me, but it sounds like a recently.
You see, I think they want you believing in clones, so you don't realize they're either putting on the mask, or either never die, or reincarnate. Looking the same, because if they were incarnating and jumping from one body to another, they wouldn't look the same. And let's listen to that one more part of the podcast again, where they talk about Francis Bacon.
And so he supposedly died, but there's, in Masonic and circles, there's nobody believes that he died when it says that he did, and that he had a feigned death. And so the question about his feigned death is if he just was an old man after that, or if he incarnated as somebody else, and that would probably be Saint Germain.
I love this episode. The fittest flat earther who got mad at us.
I think he just called me fat. Did he just call me fat? Just kidding. You be the judge on this one. You be the judge. Seems suspiciously coincidental to mention me in an episode talking about reincarnation and incarnation, and that Sam just happens to look exactly like Francis Bacon. Like I said, down to the nose. Oh, and did I mention he wants me to come on his podcast and explain this? I'm not gonna lie, I smell a trap. Either trying to make me look ridiculously stupid and discredit me, or to just call me a shill because I went on his podcast, and I pretty much said anyone that goes on his podcast is a shill. What should I do? I need some help on this one. Give me your thoughts in the comments. And of course, all this is for entertainment purposes, people. I know that reincarnation and fallen angels definitely don't exist. Definitely don't exist. This has just been for your entertainment. Have a nice day. Entertainment only.